4 years ago, I was living an extremely unhappy life where, to be honest with you, I didn't want to be alive. If you catch my drift, I'll say it subtly. I didn't want to. I didn't like my life. I wasn't happy. I was struggling with pretty intense mental illness issues. I had suffered from a drug addiction for 7 years. I was high every day. I look back at that period and I don't remember much of that time in my life because I was so messed up on drugs. But I was really unhappy, and I genuinely do not think there was a single day that went by where I wasn't on drugs. I'm telling you this because I want you to know that I know what it's like to be unhappy, and I know what it's like to be happy. And it's this very single distinction. It's a differentiation we must make within ourselves if we want our lives to improve. If we want to fall in love with our lives, we need to wake up and understand that life is not something you have to do. It's something that you get to do. I see countless people like zombies, like drones, and I used to be one. People are choosing to experience life as something that they don't get to decide for themselves. People aren't realizing how much freedom they have right now in this moment to choose anything. I want you to understand, you could be anyone, you could do anything, you could go anywhere. It's always been up to you. You could wear any outfit you want. Your style's up to you. The music you listen is up to you. The shows you watch are up to you. The food you eat is up to you. The people you allow yourself to spend time with, the job that you do, it's all up to you. Now let's zoom in on this category of work for a second because I know it is the number one that brings up the most issues in people that I've coached. This is the number one issue that my clients have. Their issue is they say, Nathan, I love your inspirational messages and the transformation stuff that you teach, no doubt has changed my life. But you don't understand, I have a family I have to support. I have to do this job. I can't quit it and do something else. The simple secret is that you have the ability to completely change your life, and it comes to this realization. We have 24 hours in a day. Most jobs that people work are 8 hours or less. Maybe you get some overtime here and there. Let's just say you need 8 hours of sleep a night, okay? Let's just say. Here's the interesting thing. That leaves you a whole other 8-hour period of time to do whatever you want with. But what do people do with it? Click the play button and stream TV shows and movies, and they smoke their weed and they drink their beer or swipe right on Tinder, or I'm not trying to sound judgy in any way because I really don't feel any judgment towards these behaviors because I used to do it. So I know that the place that comes from, the way I was making those decisions was because I was so unhappy. But the way that I completely transformed my life, completely, I stopped doing that. I stopped doing all that nonsense. I stopped wasting my time, and I started using those 8 hours to read inspirational, motivational books. I started taking success coaching. I started going to live seminars, events. I started practicing making YouTube videos every single day. I used my time efficiently. Why did I use my time efficiently? Because I realized that I was unhappy in my life, and I realized that it was me and only me who could make a change. And I realized that I had to make that change right now or it was never gonna happen. My challenge to you is to realize that being in love with life is completely accessible to you at your fingertips. You can do whatever you want. You have always had the freedom to choose. And I understand that it doesn't always feel that way, but understand that it is the truth that you have the power to make changes right now. You have the power to start thinking differently, start feeling differently, start making new kinds of actions and decisions in your life. And when you take new action and make new decisions in life, you start getting different results. You could do that too. You absolutely could, but you're not going to start making those changes in your life unless you realize that you have the power to. And what that means is that ultimately, you need to drop the story and stop telling the oh, woe is me story, that victim story, that life is so hard and I was born in this challenging circumstance and nobody understands. So my challenge to you is, are you willing to stop spending time in your mind and in your life telling this is the way it has to be, it's just the way it is? And are you willing to open yourself up to the possibility that things actually could be pretty extraordinary? Oh yeah. They really could be, and I know that from my personal experience. So what I'm gonna do now is share with you 2 visualization techniques that I know have the ability to open you up to this profound power within you. Here's number 1. The first one is I want you to imagine that you won the lottery or something, right? It's an insane amount of money. Let's say you never have to worry about money again. You never have to worry about your health, right? Let's say you were immediately gifted perfect health, incredible finances, a roof over your head, everything is taken care of for you. So you don't have to worry at all about anything that you have to do because it's all already taken care of. Then my question is to you, what do you do now? What are you gonna do? If you could do anything right now in this moment and there was nothing that you had to do, what would you do? For me, it's making these videos. That's why I'm in alignment. In my opinion, that's why I only need 4 hours of sleep a night, and yet I'm just zinging because I do what I love, because there is an inspirational, godlike power just flowing through my veins in every moment because I live life the way I want to. I don't let anybody else or society's idea of what's normal and what you're supposed to do tell me anything. You could know that because I have a unibrow. I'm just joking around. The fact of the matter is that my personal opinion, and I can't prove this, everything else I've said in this video is the truth. What I'm about to say, I want to be honest, is my opinion. And it's my opinion because I've personally experienced it. And that personal experience and opinion is this. That very question, what would you do right now in this moment if you didn't have to do anything? I think God, source, the universe, your soul, spirit, I think that's the best way to tap into it. I think that you have a purpose. I think that you came here to be who you really are and to explore life in the way that you came here to. And my belief, because of what I've experienced, it's not just some random belief I have, it's from my experience, is that when you show up every day and you live that way, everything works out for you for some reason. You're always in the right place at the right time. You always have exactly what you need when you need it. Your energy's always good. Your health is always good. People love being around you. You succeed at what you do. It's a beautiful life, and I think it's because you are fulfilling God's purpose. You are fulfilling God's plan for you, if that's what you want to call it. Okay, now we might use different phrasing, but I know you feel the vibe of what I'm saying. Here's visualization number 2. And this is one that most people are scared to do. But if you can push past that fear and be courageous, I know it'll change your life. Most people are afraid to consider death. They want to ignore it. They don't even want to talk about it. But if you contemplate the fact that you're going to die one day and you really imagine it, the funny thing is that if you really imagine it, some part of you wakes up while you're imagining it. You can feel it. Some presence to you, some aspect of your spirit, your soul. Some part of you becomes aware in the moment, and you realize, when you really contemplate the fact that you're going to die, that it makes no sense to worry about what others or society is going to think. It makes you realize there's no point in worrying about, what if I fail, if I go for this, if I take this shot. There's this part of us that realizes, it's absolutely insane for me to not live today the exact way that I want to. That's what wakes up in us when we contemplate our death. Visualize it, honestly, spend some time really considering it. And you will realize, I know it, that it makes no logical sense for you to not be who you really are. It makes no logical sense for you to try to fit in and do things the way that you think you're supposed to. That's not logical. That's what's crazy. The majority of people are doing that, but if your teacher in class said, what's 2 plus 2, everybody says 7, and you're like, isn't it 4? It doesn't mean just because the majority says it's 7, it doesn't mean that that's the truth. But everybody's raising their hand and agreeing with 7 because that's what everyone else is doing. They're afraid to be different. But your difference is the truth. The things that make you different, the things that are special to your spirit that you want to explore, that you want to do here, is on purpose. And that is the true answer. 2 plus 2 equals 4, not 7. You must live life the way you are meant to within yourself. It is the only way to logically live life. Everything else is illogical. Don't you see this? Everything else is insane. That is the only area you can experience true success in. You can never succeed at being someone who you're not. That's why life feels like a failure, because you're not being who you really are. Be who you really are and you win the game of life. It's always been that simple. People might say you're crazy. People might say it's not gonna work. It doesn't matter what they say. It only matters who you are. That's what you need to be, and that is how you fall in love with life. Mic drop. If you want to see more videos like this, I've got playlists organized and designed to drive transformation into specific categories and areas of your life, like relationships, like abundance, like manifestation. There's so much you can discover on my homepage. I hope you check it out and subscribe, because I would love to see you for the next Vibes and Frequencies video. Much love to you, and wishing greatness your way. See you soon.